I learned the hard way that the only real way to get over your fear of driving is to just do it. I wasted 4 years of my life when I could have had my driver's license wishing away this fear that I had, not realizing how much time I was wasting. If you're someone who is in the isolating position that I was at one point, I'm going to give you some tips that won't necessarily make it easier for you, but will make things make a lot more sense. A huge part of my fear of driving was just confusion. I was just confused as to how cars work together, how people all just function on the street. And once things started making sense to me and trusting the process of the road and trusting everyone around me, even though you can't trust everyone around you, don't, but you know what I mean, that's when I felt more confident on the road. And the number one thing that helped me as soon as I understood it is that the rules of the road are practically designed for your protection. They're designed for your protection. 9.9 times out of 10, car accidents are caused by somebody not following the rules of the road. Driving unsafely, driving distracted, whatever it may be. If you are following the rules of the road, I don't know the real statistic on this, but in my opinion, you are twice as likely to avoid an accident than you would be if you were distracted or something. But once you understand that all of these things are put in place to kind of protect your car as you are learning these things, there's a reason we go the speed limit. There's a reason that we use our signals. There's a reason that we don't cut people off. There's a reason why we follow lights and follow signs, so we don't get into collisions. And once you just obey those rules and follow them, you are protected. Now, my fear is, yes, like, you cannot control what other people are doing on the road. It's scary. That is the sort of thing that you just can't live in fear about, which is so much easier said than done, which, trust me, I know. And it's still something I face. Like, just because I got my license and I'm driving on my own now and doing all this does not mean I don't still have anxiety about driving. I totally do. But it just takes time and practice. I know driver's ed is a hassle, and if I'm being totally honest, no, I don't remember a single thing I learned in it other than just the basic stuff. But honestly, driver's ed is there to help you. It's so there to help you, and it's there to help everybody else, because listen, if everyone was programmed with the rules of driver's ed in their brains and were on the road every day driving with those rules, translating them through the car, there would be no car accidents. There would be no car accidents. Something that also has helped me is kind of creating a bubble space around my car when I'm on the street. If I'm going a certain speed and there's somebody directly next to me, I'll slow down a little bit just so I have a bubble space, and then I'll kind of catch up with the flow of traffic. So my car is going at the same pace of all the other cars around me while I still have this space. Okay, while I'm still protected, instead of being like right here with somebody or right here with somebody, it's more like this and like this and like this. You know what I mean? For me, freeways are the scariest. Freeways are still the scariest. I'm terrified of freeways because it's just so chaotic. However, I find them easier to drive on than I find actual streets. And it's because there's no signals, there's no nothing. You're just kind of following the flow of traffic, and you don't have to worry about somebody T-boning you necessarily. You do have to worry about people cutting you off and lane changes and whatnot, but there's a lot less to think about in terms of signs and signals. I do recommend practicing with the freeway if you have just like a chill freeway by your house, or at a time where there's, not many people on the road. It's so easy. And the last thing I recommend when it comes to overcoming a fear of driving is take your time, but don't take too much time, because that's what I did. I started learning, I didn't even start learning at 16, honestly. I got behind the wheel maybe twice in a parking lot, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, I'm so scared. I can't go out on a street. You can't do that. You can't allow yourself to do that. Go out on a street, get a feel for it. Be easy on yourself. You're gonna cry tears. You're gonna get frustrated. You're going to feel like everybody else around you knows that you don't belong. You're gonna feel that way. Trust me, nobody notices. Nobody cares. At worst, people will just think you're a bad driver and move on with their day. Okay? I'm sure many people have thought that about me. But you have to get out on the street. You have to get out on the street, and you have to do it consistently, because that's the only way you're going to overcome your fear. And I'm saying that as someone who had to learn that pretty much this past month. This past month is the only time I've actually gotten out on the street every single day in my car, because I was preparing for my driver's test. And in doing that, every single day when I'd wake up and get in my car and, take my mom to get coffee, I would be so much more familiarized with my car and how my car worked and how the streets worked. And it's the sort of thing that you can't overcome by staying at home. You can't overcome by sitting in the passenger seat. You have to be behind this wheel and use the power of this wheel and learn about the car, learn about how this all functions, because trust me, my brain struggles grasping it all as well. But if I can leave you with anything, just know your right of way and understand that the rules of the road, all of the signals, all of the limit lines, everything on those streets are designed for your protection. And you just have to follow them and use your car with the speed limit, with the signal, Everything is designed for your protection, and once you understand that, and once you get that through your head, I promise you, your fears will ease up and it'll be so much easier for you to get confident out on that street. And it could take a while. I mean, it took me 4 years to get behind a wheel. Okay, it took me 4 years. I did it, and I'm so glad I did. But you know, if driving is something you really want to do, but you're frozen by fear, just face it. For me, it was something I could take or leave, but now I want a car on The Price is Right. I had to get my license. If it's something you really want to do, don't let your anxieties hold you back. Just learn about driving, learn about what it means to be a driver, a good driver, learn about your car, and familiarize yourself with the rules of the road, because trust me, all these laws and everything are actually designed for you and for your protection. So I hope this helps, because having this epiphany really opened my eyes as to like, oh, you know, I shouldn't be so scared. And I've only had this epiphany like literally the past few weeks. So I hope this opens someone else's eyes, because trust me, it gets so much easier. And I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for watching.